Hello, good morning. We've got Thursday night football tonight, the final Thursday night football. Sorry, we got there we go. You can kind of see me. Hello, we've got a weird reflection on the old glasses, so just moving some stuff around. Hello, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Thursday, December the 29th. It is the Daily Craig Football Show. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to go over a little bit of the news, what's going on in the world of football. First off, last night, we're going to talk about college football to start. My Tar Heels played last night against Oregon in the Holiday Bowl out in San Diego. Bo Nix for Oregon played really, really well. They had a lot of players from Oregon sitting out, getting ready for the draft. North Carolina, they have a legit quarterback, Drake May. He is legit. He is good. I've been telling my friends about him all year. From the first time that he kind of took the field, he has really just kind of been at a different level. And last night, some of the throws he was making were unbelievable. And everything looked so effortlessly. Stressed at the end of the game, they ended up losing. They kicked the field goal at the end to go up by 6, but Oregon drove right down the field with no problem. Scored a touchdown with no time left. Carolina tried a Hail Mary, didn't work. But anyway, at the end of the day, Drake May is a guy. He is a dog. He is a guy. He is one that you're going to absolutely want on your team. He and USC's quarterback are going to be number 1 and 2 next year. J.J. McCarthy from Michigan is going to maybe work his way up into that discussion. But the quarterbacks this year are different than these two. These two are just at a different level. And I'm a huge Drake May fan. Huge Carolina fan, so he'd look really good with the horseshoe. I know we're probably not going to work out to get that, but it was really interesting to see last night. Tonight, we've got the final Thursday night football game. This one looked good on paper. The Titans and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are still fighting for the NFC East crown. They can catch Philly. The Titans and Jaguars are basically tied for the AFC South. This week doesn't matter for either of those teams. They could win, they could lose, they could split. Those two teams, it doesn't matter at all because all the tiebreakers next week go to a winner-take-all game with Jacksonville and Tennessee, which means Tennessee is sitting Tannehill, which has been hurt. He wouldn't be playing anyway. Derrick Henry sitting out and others. It looks like we have Hassan Haskins from Michigan versus Ezekiel Elliott. Tony Pollard, thigh problems with the Cowboys. Looks like he's questionable as well. So, again, interesting game going on tonight. Let's take a look at there we go. 13-point favorite for the Cowboys going to Tennessee. This game matters for Dallas. They're 11-4, and this game matters for them, and it doesn't matter for Tennessee. So you're going to see them run a lot. You're going to see them continue to try to get Malik Willis ready for the playoffs because it's kind of his show if they make it. But there's no Derrick Henry, and it was really going to be interesting to see Derrick Henry versus that Cowboys defense to see if they could kind of continue to regroup and stop, one of the best running backs in the league, basically. So it's going to be kind of a buzzkill tonight. It's going to be kind of a crappy game. There have not been a lot of good Thursday night games this year. So it's just going to be another one where, you look for the Cowboys to get up early and kind of put that thing away really, really quickly. The other big news yesterday was Derek Carr has been benched in Vegas. Devontae Adams was very disappointed, said he had to support his guys, says that's the reason he went there. Big news coming out of Las Vegas is that Derek Carr basically is going to be done with the Raiders. They go to Stidham to lead the Raiders. They've had a terrible year, just so inconsistent. Started off terrible, kind of got some ground underneath them, and then just continued to fall apart. So what a crappy ending for the Raiders there. Now Josh McDaniels. He had that meeting with Davis, the owner, 3 or 4 games in when they had not won a game. I think that he's going to be okay to come back next year to kind of get more of his players and continue to get his system in. But if they start crappy next year, that's going to be a quick leash. So we'll see what happens there. Excuse me. The Dolphins are also starting Teddy Bridgewater over Tua. Tua's in the concussion protocol again. I never played football. I just love it. I love to watch it. I love to look at all the stats. I love to listen to the insiders. I love to give my opinion. Tua's had 3 concussions this year? 2 that we know of and 1 that we're pretty sure he had. We're so worried about the concussion protocol, and they're so worried about if you pass this, you get to play. And if you do this, you get to play. If you do this, you're okay. You're cleared, or you're in the protocol. There has to be something where if you have X number in 24 months or 12 months, you can't play for this amount of time. He's going to continue to get concussion after concussion after concussion. I mean, this guy is in a tough position here, and he is a heck of a player, and he is tough as nails. But he continues to get that melon wrong, and he has so many concussions that this thing is just, it is not good. So Teddy Bridgewater comes in. He is a legit NFL quarterback. I really liked him. I really think that he could have done well for my Colts. It would have been better because he could run a little bit. But he's going to come in, and the Commanders are switching over to Carson Wentz. So I heard one person yesterday say, well, they're going to have him come in, get ready, get acclimated to the offense, and then be ready for the playoffs. They're going to make it. They still are right there in the wild card, one slip up, and they're out looking in. We here in Indianapolis saw firsthand what Carson Wentz can do. Taylor Heineke is on all the promotional stuff for next year. He was the guy that was supposed to lead this team. He hasn't looked good, but is the upside in Carson Wentz still there? I mean, I was a big Carson Wentz believer when he came to Indianapolis, and then I saw him for a full year. Again, he's going to make a throw that you say, that is Hall of Fame throw. And then he's going to make 2 plays that you're going to say, that is high school football in the middle of Indianapolis. There is not really any in between. You're either getting crazy, awesome, all-star level, or just wow, that is B team on the JV. So I don't know. I mean, Washington's been beat up so year. They've got weapons. That running game is happening now. So we'll see what happens there with Carson Wentz moving forward. What else we got here? It sounds like Dennis Allen is going to be back with New Orleans. There's all kinds of buzz with Sean Payton out there. There's stories out that he's collecting his all-star staff to go with him. He's starting to reach out to teams that are looking for coaches. He reached out allegedly to a few teams, Indianapolis, Denver. The Saints were one that was kind of on the back burner with could he come back, but it sounds like Dennis Allen's going to come back for another season there in New Orleans. The Raiders have placed Chandler Jones and Denzel Perryman on injury reserve. Not a surprise. As these people are dinged up and these teams are out, they're just going to put them on IR. Isaiah Rodgers here for the Colts, same thing. As they're dinged up, put them on IR. Let them have a couple more weeks to heal. There's no point in putting them out there. Let's see. Jalen Hurts did not participate in walkthrough. Lamar Jackson did not practice, so it sounds like neither of those guys are going to be ready. Let's see. I mean, that's J.J. Watt is J.J. Watt's retiring. That's a huge deal. Let's check one other thing here before we get into my rant about my Colts. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Derrick Henry's out. Tony Pollard sounds like he will not be playing. Tua is back in concussion protocol, like we talked about. So there we go. That's the big news of the day, right? It sounds like Aaron Rodgers missed practice because of a knee injury. He was a veteran day off, as he called it. So anyway, all right. So there you go. There's your update with the news. A few things going on here and there. Now, Colts. Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts. They're my team. Love the Colts. That helmet right back there. Right there. Went to many O games. Never been a season ticket holder, so I can't talk about that. But I've used a lot of people's season tickets. Been part of the program for a long time. I was all for that Ryan move. I was all for Matt Ryan. I thought he was great. I truly watched this offensive line last year and said, this is it. If we get a legit adult at quarterback with this running game, we can make it happen. What about the receivers? Michael Pittman's good. Can he develop? I think so. These tight ends are huge. Let's go. What about the left tackle? Costanzo's been retired a couple years, and he hinted at retirement. They've got a Reinman and a couple guys prior. They got some guys that could fill in. Most, I think, will be okay. Darius Leonard will be back. Sounds like it. Had his surgery early. Sounds like we're ready to roll. Quarterbacks, man, we got Gilmore and reestablished that. I think we're good to go. Just an absolute disaster, as everybody can see. Top 5 draft pick coming up. All kinds of questions across the room. Here's my question for Jim Irsay and the Colts people that are smarter and make more money than I do. The Colts had an absolute crazy start to their time here in Indianapolis. All over the place. All kinds of quarterbacks. Gary Hogaboom, Jeff George, Jack Trudeau. All kinds of guys. They got Bill Polian, that built the Panthers to go to the Super Bowl. They built this team with Bill Polian, Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, the line, unsung heroes on the defense, Mathis Freeney. Okay. Bill Polian was here, and we won a Super Bowl. High five. Negative 50 degrees outside, and we're outside at a parade. Then they went back to the Super Bowl and lost. And then Peyton Manning got hurt. That year, Peyton Manning was on the sidelines holding the clipboard. They kept zooming in on the little scar on his neck. Can he ever play again? What's going on? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. At the end of the year, Bill Polian and Jim Caldwell were asked to leave. We're starting over. Andrew Luck was right there waiting for us. We got the number 1 pick. See you later. An absolutely amazing offseason here in Indianapolis. He said goodbye to the all-time greatest. Said goodbye to one of the all-time greatest GMs. And you welcomed in a rookie quarterback and a rookie coach, Coach Pagano, and Ryan Grigson, a rookie GM. Let's start it over. And they were okay. They won. They won games. They won playoff games. Deflategate. Crappy games in the snow. Everything's all over the place. But Ryan Grigson was mean. Players didn't like him. Get out of here. Chuck Pagano didn't win as much as he should have. Get out of here. Andrew Luck, I'll play. No, I won't. I'll retire. Okay. So you got Josh McDaniels coming in. Nope. Decided the 11th hour he didn't want to coach. Frank Reich. No quarterback. And Chris Ballard, which was the whiz kid, the golden kid from Kansas City. You learned all this stuff from their leadership. Andy Reid. This is a young guy with a southern drawl. The heck of a personality. He's going to rebuild the Colts. And he hasn't. They've never solved the quarterback situation. They knew Anthony Costanzo was going to retire for 2 years, and they never got a left tackle. They knew they weren't going to re-sign T.Y. Hilton. They never got another receiver. They have not done what they needed to do to take this team to actually win a division, the worst division in football. Right now, the leader is 7-8. So it is an absolute terrible shame what's going on here. My question is, why did Bill Polian get outed and Chris Ballard didn't? Bill Polian had one bad year, basically. I don't know. His son had a lot, was in the organization with Chirpy. There's a lot of backstory. It's not as simple as why. But why did Bill Polian get fired after what on the outside saw was 1 year of bad football, when Chris Ballard's had 5? Made the playoffs once, got beat quick. 5 years to build this up. The excuse continues to be, well, Andrew Luck left us at the altar. Okay. Tom Brady left the Patriots, and they got a quarterback in the draft. Big Ben left the Steelers, and they got a quarterback in the draft. Keep going. Keep going. Who else? Keep going with these teams that have a quarterback that left, and they replaced it right away. You basically never did. You never did. You never updated your receiving core with anybody with high-priced free agents. You had a pile of money the last 2 off seasons, and you really didn't spend it on much. And you keep moving back in the draft, and you never have found the quarterback to replace Andrew Luck. Never. So why would I be excited as a Colts fan that we have a top 5 pick? Odds are we're going to sign Derek Carr because the last few years we've signed that veteran because we think that everything's in place. And I was guilty of that. I thought we were ready to roll. But obviously I was wrong and everybody else was wrong. Number 2, we're going to keep Jeff Saturday because he's part of the program and on the Ring of Honor. And I want Jeff Saturday to succeed. I'd be okay with that. Where I have a problem is with Chris Ballard. I have a real big problem with what's going on in the front office. I do. And now I'm not there anymore and I don't have anybody inside. I don't have anybody telling me anything. This is just me watching the games, following the insiders, listening to the Colts and what they do. It would make me so happy to be able to go downtown with my camera and record a victory parade and be part of the playoffs and be part of all the celebrations and everything going on, the Blue Fridays, the AFC Championship game, where's the Super Bowl, what are we doing? It was so much fun when that happened twice. We're so far away from that right now in this town. So far away because the owner is being stubborn by saying, this is our guy, this is the whiz kid. Well, the whiz kid after 5 years hasn't done anything except make this a mediocre franchise. If you're a whiz kid, you're coming in like Sean McVay and reinventing things and you're changing things and the things you're doing are actually working. What's not working in LA this year? Well, injuries. They don't have the talent because people got hurt, a couple people left. Colts have got to get out of their own way. They've got to say, we've got to cut ties. 5 years with the general manager is long enough to figure out, can you win us to the division or not? We're not in the NFC East where it's a bloodbath every single week, or the North in the AFC where it's 2 legit Super Bowl contenders. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? We haven't faced Brady twice a year. We're not in the East or the South, wherever he is. We're not facing Josh Allen twice a year or Mahomes. AFC South, they haven't won the division since you came on board. How is that even possible? How are we having this discussion? How am I sitting Monday night before the football game listening to you say, he's going to be back. He's my general manager. I like where the direction of the team is. Why? Because we had 9 Pro Bowlers last year with a team that didn't make the playoffs because you lost to Jacksonville? You have 1 Pro Bowler this year that didn't deserve to go because he's had the worst year of his career. People are just voting him in because it's a popularity contest. I'm so frustrated and so confused as to what's going on with the franchise. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Apparently, Chris Ballard is back. They're going to have an open competition for the head coaching job, and they're going to explore what to do with the draft pick and the quarterback situation. You heard it here on December 29th. What I'm guessing is Chris Ballard is the general manager, Jeff Saturday is the coach, Derek Carr is the quarterback, and that first pick will be picked on a lineman, which is what they need, but they're going to come back all of us and say, we're this close. We're this close. We need this rookie to step in and play on the line, and we need this veteran quarterback. And that's fine. I would be fine with the offensive line high pick with a lineman that will contribute and do what he needs to do. But I don't like how the team's constructed, and I don't like this Band-Aid of old veteran quarterbacks. You've got to rip the Band-Aid off at some point and try to get the next one in here because you've got to get a quarterback that you can keep more than 1 or 2 years. It worked for Philip Rivers for a minute, and it was supposed to work this year better than ever, and it never did. So anyway, that's going to be the show today. Sorry for being so negative about my Colts. Thursday Night Football tonight, I'm picking the Cowboys by 1 million. The poor Titans, they don't care. They're not going to care because they really just don't have anything to play for. So why would they? But anyway, we're going to go check that out here this evening. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to start doing these every single day again. I did this before, more in the off season, and then I've just lost track of time and what's going on here during the season. So we've still got some good football ahead of us. So let's get back into having some daily conversations. So make sure you check out the channel. I'll have these scheduled before so you can turn it out. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks again.